Now going over the trade that I took. So it was a market maker buy model, and as you can see, we had these smooth relative equal highs, and they formed after pre-market. So after 7 a.m. open, they all formed. They just to be taken later, right? So what happened at 9:30 open? We opened up, we instantly just straight up dumped, and we had this low taken out. So sell side was purged, right? If I pin this, so this low was taken out, sell side was purged. We kept these buy side intact. So these smooth edges were made jagged. So I bought right at 9:45, and then again at this candle, and I'll share this executions later. But what was the confluence for my entry? Firstly, I use the macro 9:45 to 10:15. You just right. So yeah, I just wanted. So firstly, we went inside the macro. We had this wick lower. What time is that? 9:45. So that was the start of the macro. We wicked lower. And if I could show you, this is the regular trading hours chart for today. And I have the previous day RTH open. This so why do I want to bring your attention to this exact gap? Firstly, after the Trump announcements, this was the first gap, and this was a huge gap. This was around, if I could tell you, 300 to 400 points. So, firstly, this is a big gap that we did not close in yesterday. So, this was imbalanced. And then today, we opened up, we went right straight to the bottom of this. We swept the bottom, swept the low of this RTH gap. And then, right after, we started showing signs of the body is respecting the low, and then we had a big wick, and then we closed inside right at the macro. So this is how I align time and price, and I could anticipate a reversal forming soon. If I just go back to this chart, so these relative equal highs, we had this inversion fair value gap, right? So even before we inverse this, I called it out as an inversion fair value gap. And how did I know? Because the narrative was in play. We had done the work on sell side, and what I wanted to see was these relative equal, these smooth edges made jagged. So this was it. More about my trade management. My first position was in this candle, the second was this, and overall somewhere around here, this level, price level somewhere was my position. I had my stop loss below this rejection block, sort of because I was anticipating these two inversion fair value gaps and this to be a balanced price range overall. So I did not want any price movement below the midpoint. And since we had already wicked through it, wicked through the low of it, I did not want to see any return back to the low. So that was my stop loss placement somewhere around here. And then we consolidated for a while. We started displacing. We After we went above the new week opening gap, I wanted to see the bodies respect the high of the new week opening gap. So this was the the weekly open, and also the new week opening gap high. So I wanted the bodies to respect that. So we did. We touched it, wicked up, and then we went back into the first presented fair value gap. And after we left the first presented value gap, I wanted to see the body respect the consequent encroachment of the fair value gap, as we did. And then we had a slow grind towards the buy side liquidity consolidation. And as for the position, I started scaling out my position inside the first percent fair value gap. So I took off almost 40% of my position inside here. And then once we were consolidating in here, that's when I closed out my second position. And then right around here was my final TP. The original consolidation, I could have easily held for London buy side and then monthly open right above, because all these were nested buy side liquidity. So as you would see, London buy side, these typical highs, they were all nested at the high, and then this was a manipulation. So as a general rule of thumb, if we open up at 9:30 and we instantly manipulate in the opposite direction to where you are anticipating price to go, you can quite easily anticipate that price will reach a point of interest and we will form a reversal during a key time, that is a macro time. So I was just waiting for that, and as soon as the signs were present that we were about to reverse soon, I entered my position, and this was a pretty good trade overall. I even had a pre-market trade. Uh, yeah, so for the pre-market trade, what my confidence was, we swept these high. We had this big candle, and we failed to even reach the weekly open or the opening up high. Was ICT Reaper fair value gap right here. So I'll just mark that off for you guys. So this was an ICT Reaper fair value gap. We took out sell side right here already. ICT Reaper fair value gap. We stopped right inside. These felt smooth at that time, so I was anticipating 8:45 macro to take those out. So before around 9 o'clock, 9 o'clock to open, maybe take them out. But we left them intact for the AM session, which gave me even more confluence that okay, yeah, we are about to form a manipulation and then distribution, and that was it. So I entered around here. This was when I got the confirmation on the lower time frame, 15-second chart, and then we went higher into the position of the 8:30 open because we started consolidating, and every time we start consolidating right in advance of a key liquidity pool, uh, you might want to start taking your positions off because there is a good chance that we might reverse. Because if I bring out the implied dealing ranges, okay, so I'll point out the quadrants for this. So if this was my implied dealing range, right, post the midpoint, I want to see speed, especially above the upper quadrant around this. So we left these intact. These are breakaway gaps, which is what I like to see. But after we reached the 8:30 open, we started just rejecting this. We could not muster up the courage to reach this, which was not that far away. So it was a sign that okay, we might leave them intact for AM session. So that was what made me took my position off at this candle. And again, I'm not just talking about all this in hindsight. I've taken these trades. I've shared the executions on my Telegram, and uh, so these were a demo right here, and then I took them on my postal account as well with live funds from Xness. So these were the two trades for today. I took a loss here where I tried to long here, and it was like a small loss, but then recouped that, trading that and that. So that's it for today, guys. Thank you.